Together. Not eating, singing. Asatu ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What is the meaning of the first phrase, Asatuna Satigamaya? What is unreal? There are a couple of things that needs to be understood. What is unreal? What is not true? Non-self. But what is the heck this non-self is? How do I relate it to my life? That is what happens with a lot of people. Do you think that a singer who can chant these verses much better than us is better than all of us? He doesn't understand. He only knows how to sing. So don't leave these verses being unnoticed in your life. What is unreal? What is non-self? What is ignorance? How do I relate it to my life? How you're going to teach? Not being aware. Yeah. Yes, yes, we are going ahead. Come on, discuss. There are many ways to say that anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, problem, and the suffering belongs to non-self. They are unreal. The very journey of yoga begins with an understanding that all the problems and the suffering are unreal. Why? Because I'm the real self. What is real self? Of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, wisdom. Am I right? If I'm not right, let me know. And this is yoga, this is Tantra, this is mindfulness. What else we need? You start working on a single phrase, apply that in your life, and you are already there. You understand what I'm saying? So you are going to include such verses in your class. But even if you do not spend 2 or 3 minutes of the time, what the students will say, oh, Michelle is singing very beautiful. That's all. That's all. And beautiful remains there, and it is lost. A singer can sing. Recently, the prince died. He was a big sensation. Huh? Look at it. So singing is a secondary part. But the message that we give to our students and to our life is primary. So regular practice and the wisdom are the two principles. If we follow it, we can change our life. Let us discuss with the second verse. It's okay. So ignorance, whether you say ignorance, whether you say mithya, whether you say non-self, whether you say maya, all have more or less the same meaning with a different context, but all has the same meaning. If I'm ignorant, you see, anger. Can you become angry now? No. Why? Because you are aware of yourself. When I say, do you really become angry? Yes. Can you plan to be angry tomorrow at 10 a.m.? And you started laughing. Look at it. How easy yoga is. This is all about yoga. This is yoga, this is Tantra, and this is mindfulness. That will take you to awakening. Now the secondary aspect starts. What is the secondary aspect? I have a lot of neck pain. So I'm aware that this pain is the part of the non-self. It is unreal. But then we have the tools given in the yoga. So we do not end our session, oh, I have a neck pain because it is unreal, so what should I do? This is the extreme ignorance. Some people try to rationalize it. Oh, when you say it is neck pain is unreal, body is unreal, why should I do it? Who is saying this? From where you said this? You use your body, your mind, and intellect. Yoga never says this. Then yoga says that, okay, remove that part of ignorance from there. What is best? Let me do some practices with reference to the body. Come down to the asana, do those stretching. So it is not that you refuse something, you totally accept it. Understood? So don't get into a wrong notion that I refuse a lot of things. No. But we should maintain that awareness. If going to the restroom is totally, what you should say, going to the restroom is totally unbecoming of pious beings like us, then we should stop going to the restroom. You see, that's a wrong logic. That's a wrong notion. The same thing applies when I say moving from, where is the smile? So, wrong notion means that how the mind has created this wrong notion, which I am not, still the mind claims I am. Look at the second phrase. What is the meaning of the second phrase? Come on. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. What is the meaning of that? Then you have to become a devil's advocate, discuss. The more you discuss, it will go into your head so that it becomes easy for you to teach others. What is the meaning of? What is that darkness to light? Yeah, but there are different. Yes,
darkness
yes.
Represents the unreal.
Unreal. It represents unconsciousness. Now let us explain in a different way. Anything that is below the conscious level is darkness. I'm dark about my anger. When the anger will come, I'm dark about it. You see that? So what is that darkness? I'm not aware. The anger flares up anytime. Yeah. Illness may come at any time. So anything vicious level, subconscious, habitual, conditioning mind, those thoughts, those past impressions. Now, what is yoga? Bring all the material from the darkness to the light. Right? For example, you have trillions of impressions in your unconscious mind. Right? Now you have brought that at the conscious level. You can easily filter out. I want this, I don't want this. I want this, anger, hesitation. I said something in the past. No, that impression is there. Drop it. What is left? Peace, happiness. This is the meaning of moving from. Yeah? See the other example. This room is totally dark. What do I see? Nothing. Am I right? Room is totally dark. And I ask you to, what is in the room? You say nothing. There is nothing in the room because you don't see anything. Similarly, we have unconscious material that we don't see in our life. What yoga does? Yoga brings that on the surface. It helps you to drop that is not required, dissolve that causes you the problem, and destroy that are very hard habits, strong habits. That is the meaning of moving from. So pick up only one verse and explain, relate it to life. And let me know how many, do you have anger, how many times you become angry? How many times you became angry during the last month? Oh, every day I become angry. I get irritated. Know that this is ignorance. Do you want to live in ignorance or do you want to change? Then go for the practice. That is why these verses were written. Verses were not written for the singers like Prince and other. They can sing beautifully, no doubt about it. But they are not concerned about what is the meaning. Third, what is the third? Mrityormamritangamaya. Literal meaning is moving from the death to freedom, death to immortality. You become immortal. Now see the beauty of understanding. Marina, you were a baby. Everyone says that you said it, yeah, Marina. You were 10 years old, maybe a teenager, right? You're still Marina. Where the teenage has gone. You see, it's a simple explanation, right? Now you're 20 years old. Who is 20 years old? I'm not. My body. My body became 20 years old. My body becomes 30 years old. My body becomes 40 years old. But I'm not. I'm the same. Only difference is that when I was born, I was not able to express myself because I didn't know any language. But now I'm able to express myself. Do you see the truth into it? That is the meaning. It doesn't mean people try to mean it. You become immortal. Nobody, no, no body can ever be immortal. You can live maybe 150 years, 200 years, but at last the body has to leave. So this is yoga, this is tantra, and this is mindfulness. When you live into that state, I'm free. So when you have a freedom from the death, then what happens? You have a fearlessness. Then what happens? Your brain changes. When your brain changes, then what happens? You live, move, and act in peace and happiness. You have achieved the highest form. Now, once you have understood the basic principle, apply all the tools. You have asana as a device, you have breathing practices as a device, you have mindfulness, you have relaxation, you have yoga nidra, you have mantra, you have mudras, and whatever beloved teacher taught you, Noli we have, belly dancing. Only then it works. But if you say what happens, now see the other side of the truth, the naked truth. This is a group of 20 asanas. This is beginners Hatha Yoga class. What should be the intermediate? Add 10 more asanas. What is the advanced yoga class? Add 40 more asanas. What you're doing? Marina, come on. It is just the opposite way. Come on. What we're doing? Think of it. You have to choose. I'm not saying that you should agree with. You choose. You choose what we are going to do. What we are doing? I'm in a fifth grade, so I go there. I read one book. I'm still in the fifth grade. I read the second book, but I claim that I'm moving ahead. I read the third book. I'm still in the fifth grade. I don't want to move from there. Why? It is not the fault of those teachers. No problem. Because once you are aware of the basic philosophy of yoga, the basic understanding, yoga means what? To change from inside. I must rise above. I must evolve. I should live in that peace and happiness. Can I do 80 postures and be in peace? So, because those teachers don't have a right direction, according to the yoga, not according to me. So, what happens? Then you are lost in these postures. Then what happens? Then you start, do it. I'm again saying I'm not opposing it. Do core strength, do alignment, do everything. But don't forget, you have planned to go your home from after the class, and your house is 20 miles, and after 5 miles, you thought, oh, let me sit and have a cup of coffee. And you started taking coffee, 2 hours have passed. Oh, let me do something. Let me go for a dinner. And now you're gone for a dinner in a diner. And you are lost. And after that, you forget that where I have to go, I don't know. Why? Because I enjoyed a cup of coffee, enjoyed the dinner, and I don't know. Yoga means to go back to your home. What is your home? Going back to your own self. Only when you go within yourself, you awaken to the self, and then you know that the death belongs to the non self. Death does not belong to yourself. Done. First part. Now, now from that Nirvana Astakam, take the second verse. Just keep your eyes there and let me sing it. My wife says, no, stop singing the moment I sing. She's a good singer, so no, you cannot do it. Don't do it. So you see the relativity. Here you may like it. You know? So what is the second verse in Nirvana Ashtakam? Then we'll take the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Nacha prana sango na vai panchavayu na va saptadhatu na va panchakosha na vakapani padam na chapasthapayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Do the last stanza of this verse. I am absolute consciousness bliss. Sometimes you read that I'm Shiva, auspicious. What you're reading? I'm the self. That is one explanation of the self. What is the self? Absolute consciousness bliss. Nirvana Ashtakam. Are you reading Nirvana Ashtakam? You all got it. Come on. First, we read last time. Mano buddhir ahankara chittani naham na cha shrotra jibhai na cha ghran netre na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Even if you cannot sing, remember this by heart. At least it should go into your head, brain, mind, emotions, thinking, contemplation. You will never go down, your mind will never drop down into the unconsciousness, at least even intellectually, when you are talking to the people. So now let us go to the second one. Nacha prana sangau navai panchavayu nava saptadhatu nava panchakosha Also understand the anatomy and physiology of yoga. Nacha prana sango navai panchavayu. This prana, I'm explaining. This prana, when they discharge different physiological, biochemical, and a neurological function, they are given different names. And that is why it says there is a panch prana. So there are 5 different types of the prana discharging the main functions of the body. So what this master says, I'm none of them. Nacha panchavayu na vasaptadhatu. I will explain you in anatomy and physiology that there are seven stages of formation of the body. That is a part of anatomy and physiology of yoga. We don't talk about, the different systems. We talk about there are 7 stages of formation, starting from the food and ending the bone marrow. We have a specific name for the bone marrow. I'll talk about it. So it means that this body is composed of these 7 dhatus. But I'm not the body. So I'm not these 7 stages of the growth. Nava sapta dhatu. And after that, I'm none of these sense organs. I'm none of these motor organs. Who am I? I am the self. What is the nature of the self? Peace, happiness, bliss, calmness. If you are happy, even if when you have a pain in the body, you have achieved 1%. What a big deal if somebody has a pain and crying. Not a big deal. Everyone does this. Everyone does this. But if you have a pain, you should not have pain, I pray. but, but if we have a pain, we are insulted. Come on. You have to see to that. Find out. Second part is done. Now come to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I don't know whether you brought those books or not. Page number 17. So last week we covered up to 4 verses. Now today, next time you can bring this book so it becomes very easy. So now we are summarizing the verses from the first chapter, verses number 5 to 11. Let me summarize this, and then we will read it. Where is yoga? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Right? So someone will ask you, okay, you said that yoga is emptying the contents of the mind. But I want to know what are those contents of the mind? Should I empty them or should I keep them? So then you have an answer that these contents of the mind makes us lazy, crazy, wandering, stressed, leads to suffering. First thing. But you see that there is another. What food you like, Misha? No, no, come on, anything, whether vegan, non-vegan, or you like sweets? You like sweets, yes. And Marina, what you like? Yeah, avocado. She is purely vegan. And what about you?
I like salad.
Salads. Yeah. Now see that what we like, we take it for granted. What it means? These contents of the mind, these thoughts do not actually influence us negatively until we eat something like sweets, we go on eating without, no, then we created a craving, and that the craving causes the problem, and then we say, oh, sugar is a poison. How come the sugar is a poison? Who says it? All the cane sugar plants, will be poisonous if the sugar is actually a poison. From where the statement comes, that is what the yoga asks you to contemplate. From where the statement comes, the sugar is a poison. The mind is trying to hide something. What it wants to hide? Can you tell me? How come the sugar is a poison for one, and for Michelle, you like it? So, do you like poison? Can I conclude? You see?
Certain things you need to eat in moderation. But if you like something, you may eat too much of it.
So, mind hides its craving, and it gives it a different color. Now, I like it. Think of it. So, they are the neutral contents of the mind. So we have to become aware not only of those thoughts that makes me crazy, but also those thoughts which are habitual, that has allowed me to live a conditioned life. So this is the first verse by the Patanjali, Vrataya Panchataya Kleshta Akleshta. What it means? I'm just summarizing that how you can talk to the people from verse number 5 to verse number 11. First, it says you can categorize all the thoughts, feelings, sensations of your mind into two categories: painful, not painful. That is the literal sense. But the painful means, oh, I may be in pain at the physical level, at the mental level, at the emotional level, right? Even while eating something, I feel pain. Or not eating something is also painful. Come on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your mind say create a thought. I like sweets, right? So you are given a sweet, you are happy, right? Now in a second situation, you are not given a sweet, you're unhappy, right? Now you have a diabetes and you are given a sweet. For example, same content is the same. So at one time the content becomes painful, at other times the content becomes painless. You understand what I'm saying? Now don't think of diabetes. You have a diarrhea. Will you take sweets? It is painful, but you like sweets. So the same thought, same content, same activity can become painful, can also become painless. Look at the Eastern psychology, how this master explained deeply. So it says any thought that comes to your mind, any activity, you can claim, I love my honey, he or she is my beloved. But let the time come, the mind will say no. First, it will say, I don't agree. Huh? You may like me at one point of time and you say, oh, he seems to be crazy. Then it becomes painful. Then it becomes boring. Then you don't listen to it. It is so simple. Any person, anything that becomes the object of the mind becomes painful at one time, painless at the other time. Means what? Understand, that is what it says. That it creates a vicious circle. Pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain. So because it creates a vicious circle of thought pattern, That is why the word is used, vrataya. Vrat means circle. What we say in modern psychology, pre-recorded CD. Your mind repeats the same thing again and again. If you don't like someone and you meet that guy, mind says no, no, you're ready to react. Pre-recorded CD. It's a vicious circle. That is the meaning of the fifth verse. Then it says there are 5 sets of objective states of the mind. What are those 5 objective states of the mind? The first group is the way I perceive the world, which should be factual. What is factual? You are Marina with 1L, you are Michelle with 1L, you are Michelle with 2L, and here is a Marina, the Rodney has not come. So everything is factual, right? Everything is factual. So this is one categories of thoughts that we have. Second group, just opposite, non-factual. So when that is non-factual, pramana, viparya, vikalpa, nidra, smratayaha. Clear? Right? Now what happens that you fought with somebody whom you loved. I'm explaining how the mind changes. First you met a person, a stranger guy, okay? Huh? Whose name was Girish. Okay, just check it. Factual. Stranger, now stranger became known to you. It is a fact. Now you know who am I, what I do. Huh? For example, don't love me. Now you fell in love with this guy. Just take in. So is the love factual? You get carried away by your emotion. Come on, explain it. So the mind moved into fancies and imagination, and it created a sense of attachment that you call love. In yoga, we never fall in love, we always rise in love. And when you rise in love, you love everybody. When you fall in love, then you create an attachment. Then you say, oh, my beloved. The rest is dropped. So so from one thinking pattern, you had a factual perception from the sense organ. Now you fell in love. You created another group of thoughts, fancies, and imagination. That's what it says. Vikalpa. I'm just explaining you practically. You can read all those, different books. They have a literal explanation. Then what comes third? What comes third? You come again and you say, he betrayed me, he is a crazy guy. I don't want to talk. The guy can never be good or bad. A person is a person. Michelle is a person, that's all. You can never be good and bad. You can only be good, bad, based on my preferences and my biases, my likes and dislikes. So if I get rid of the likes and dislikes, you remain Michelle. If I have a wrong perception, I created another group of thoughts. Huh? If I fall in love or I get attached, I created another group of. So it means there are first 3 alternates each, alternates. You understand? Did you get it? Huh? Third, you create an imagination, you're living in dreams, I love Marina, my beloved. So is it factual? You fell in love, you fall in attachment, which you call love. Come on. First is factual, and the second one is the just opposite. Just opposite, say, my master used to say that, oh, I have seen elephant in the sky, which does not exist. So that becomes non-factual. You know? Your eyes can never see an elephant in the sky. Majority of those people who are not clear about these concepts of meditation, what happens in meditation? They start hallucinating. And the modern psychology then says, look at those crazy guys. Non-factual, viparya, it is false completely. It's a wrong perception. One is the right perception based on the senses, wrong perception based on the senses. So when I say there is an elephant in the sky, it means, either my eyes are, there is some problem with my eyes, or with my mind, to be very clear. Now see the other part of it. First, you love somebody, you date, he or she is so good. Majority of the time. Then you are married. And then you start saying, these 5 things I hate about my honey. Don't tell me, Michelle, now. And once the time passes, first 6 months is a honeymoon period where we don't worry about the problems and the suffering. We are just, so all those thoughts that comes at that moment is the third one, the fancies and the imagination, right? Now I want to live with that fancy and imagination all the time. I want to live and dream. I want to extend that honeymoon period. And then becomes the honeymoon period in the modern life. And then you start looking, oh, I have strong lights, he has strong lights. They are different. I hate these 5 things that you have, but with a very heavy mind, I say, but still I love you. I hate you, but still I love you. So the journey has started. So now what happened? Here is a wrong perception. If I love a person, I love. Finish. The way you are. I accept you. That is love. So I have explained you the first 3 states. The beauty of the Eastern psychology is that it explains the sleep also is the objective state of the mind. And the memory is also the objective states of the mind. Sleep, it is objective. It is a content of the mind. If that content is removed, you will remain awake. That is the content of the mind. And the same thing with the memory. Past memory. The memory helps you to regret all the time, repent, criticize, react. That's the beauty of the memory. Here, I'll explain you later that how the memory works. So it means first thing, there are 5 categories of thought pattern. All these 5 categories can be painful, can be non-painful, right? Right? These 5 categories of the thought pattern combines with the 5 subjective states of the mind. What are the 5 subjective states? I have explained you many times. Wandering state, forgetfulness state, blaming state, always, which is in Sanskrit is known as chipt, Mood Vikshipt Ekagra Niruddhavastha. The fourth state is one-pointedness, where the goal is clear. And the fifth is the emptiness, the mindfulness. Did you understand? So now look at the permutation and combination. What I'm in the wandering state of the mind, right? It is midnight. Can I sleep? Look at it. Can you sleep when your mind is wandering? Okay, I said that you. This opens the entire Pandora box of free of stress, of the suffering, of anxiety, of depression. Look at it. How beautifully this master says, single content be painful, non-painful. You're you're sleeping, but the sleep is disturbed, painful. Sleep is deep, pleasure. I talk the way you like, pleasure. I don't lie. I don't talk the way you like, painful. But I'm the same. Look at it. That is why they are known as the part of the non-self. The self has to remain permanent. It never changes. That is why we say emptying the mind of its content is yoga, it's tantra, it is mindfulness, it is meditation, it is awakening, it is peace, it is happiness. Done. Understood? So we have covered from the 5 to, now you can pick up 5 to 11. Yeah. Now you could question, yes.
5 thoughts. 4 and 5.
Hmm?
4 and 5. 5 types of thoughts.
Subjective states or objective states. Objective states are right perception, wrong perception. Yeah, you can write down. Objective states are right perception, means factual. Wrong perception, fancies or imagination, that is the third, memory, and the sleep. These are the 5 objective states of the mind. Now, the 5 subjective states of the mind are wandering, forgetfulness, blaming and complaining mind. Fourth is one-pointedness. Fifth is emptiness. So yoga can only start in one's life when you really understand and analyze the rest 8 different subjective and objective states of the mind. When your mind is one-pointedness, your goal is clear, then the yoga begins. Before that, it's all dreaming. Then we live in either core strength, or we live in pranayama, or we live in imagination. So it is very clear. Why? Last thing, it's very important to think of it. In the outer world, you need not to be a good person to yourself to become a doctor. You may be a crazy guy inside. You can be the best doctor in the world. In yoga, it doesn't work. I have to be good to myself. That craziness, if I have that craziness, forget about yoga doesn't work. With that idea, compare people. You can instantly analyze people and also observe yourself. You can be a best class engineer and a technocrat. You can be a criminal. It works in the outer world. But yoga says we need to get rid of these 8 states of the mind first to start the yoga. That is the message given by, that is why in the first, what it says, it explains Vrataya, Panchataya, Klesta, Aklesta, all these thought patterns are painful or non-painful. Don't consider if it is non-painful, then it may not create a problem in the future. I have a wonderful friend who is vegan for the last 20 years. No, I would say he is 50, maybe he is from the birth. It's a wonderful family. I liked him, I loved him. They also love me. When just 2 weeks before, the entire family was here. They're very rich, like, no, not like him, not like his attitude, but they are really rich. Can you think $10 million flat, 10 flats in Dubai? So you can just drive Bentley. And then I'll come to you and then I will become the boss and you will become my driver. I cannot drive in Dubai. So, totally vegan, the entire family. Last year, his daughter also, his sister also came. His sister has been my student for the last 22 years. A strong advocate of vegan, but there are a lot of problems, lot of challenges, lot of challenges. They hide those things, claiming they are vegan. I'm not saying vegan is bad. I'm not saying that.
What kind of challenge we're talking about?
I'm not saying that non-vegetarian is good or vegan is bad or dairy is good or bad. No. Yoga says do everything in moderation. Don't attach yourself to anything. Don't cling yourself to anything. The moment you cling, that mind becomes crazy, you have lost. So it has to be in moderation, in eating, in living your life, anything and everything. Just have that balance. Now you talk about the balanced diet. We talk about the balance in life. I have something, I will use it, but I don't stretch myself to buy something that I cannot. Anything, everything in moderation. The moment you stretch, you're creating, it may be a wandering, it may be crazy, it may be forgetfulness, it may be a wrong perception. What is the wrong perception? If I buy this car, it will give me less. It remains for 2 or 3 days, maximum a week, to show to the neighbor, and after that, you have it. After that, you have it. So it always talk. I'll talk about those problems later, and then so it is done. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra is also done. So this is what I said is anxiety. It is so when you live into the one-pointed state means what? The goal of life is clear. Goal in life is clear. What is goal in life? What is goal in life? You have a life. Let you tell me what is the goal in your life.
It's like something you want to do.
Yes, what you want is something, but your career, your money, maybe in future, honey, money. So what you want to achieve in the external world is the goal in life. What is goal of life? Goal of life of every human being is same. Where is that? What is that? That is yoga. So even if you don't claim that you are practicing yoga, are you a seeker of peace? Are you a seeker of happiness? Are you a seeker of knowledge? You are all doing yoga, whether you accept or not. Well, if you are not a seeker of peace and happiness and wisdom and the truth in life, then I can say yes, either you are not a human being. Last thing, and then we'll take a break. And this is, I think, in 87, 88, I received two students. I want to narrate it briefly. I'm not telling his name because, because of the reasons I'm going to explain. The first guy who came, oh, teacher, can you teach me meditation? I said, I always ask the question that why? What is your expectation? That you see always in a class. That is my pet, has been for the last almost 30 years. He said, I'll talk to you privately. I said, okay, come on. I had another room, so I went there. I'm appearing in civil services examination, the federal examination we have in India that makes you an administrator. That's a cream job. You are given extreme powers to spend the money. You have a total authority on a particular county or a state. The job is like that you are a secretary of your governor, ample powers. You don't go to the governor to ask, I have to spend $500,000. So no, you spend. You have the power. So he said, I want to qualify for that examination. I said, why? He whispered in my ear, I want to earn $10 million. Scam. You cannot make $1 million having a federal job like you or anyone. It's so simple. But I saw a tremendous energy in him. I said, my job is to help you. Help your mind. I will do it. He qualified. He worked for 10 to 12 years. He made that money. Why I'm not telling his name? He is one of the senators at present in the parliament. He met me and I said, oh, why don't we open a center? I said, no, I'm not interested. I'm okay with what I'm doing. Then I came here, so he's having a diabetes. He's too much scared of people with. He talks of honesty in a public life, but I know. But can you call this a success? One. Second guy, they both are alive. Second guy came with the same examination, but I saw him a low energy. He's a wonderful. They both are good friends of me. So I don't leave them. So because of the low energy, I asked him what you will be doing after becoming an administrator. I will help people. I will serve everyone. Now I'm explaining both that's what, it's a real life examples. They both are alive. He tried 3 times and he failed miserably. He couldn't qualify. There yoga comes, yoga psychology comes. I said, no, I will help you. Oh, you didn't tell me that I could not qualify. I said, you should have been hesitated. Why should I tell you? I could saw a tremendous, such a low energy. But I tried my best to guide you. He became an attorney. Now he is a good attorney. But what happened? He married. His wife sued him. He lost all the money. He stood up on his feet again. For me, both are wonderful guys. You see that? how you analyze, how you only one thing is lacking. If you don't have a clarity about goal of your life, whether you claim you are the best person, a kind person, you're doing a lot of social service, you're committed to the people, doesn't make any difference. Or you dupe everybody. It doesn't make any difference. So once you're very clear, think of it. That takes you to the fourth state of the mind. You don't, there is a natural state inside you that never compromises because you follow that inner self. So once that goal is clear, then what happens? You are not guided and dictated by the rest of these states. You don't become, oh, you may become crazy for a while and then you say, I'm really sorry, and you change yours completely. It happens. That's a part of the evolution. But at last, you never ever, once you're clear, you're focused, that remarkable focus comes through the practices of yoga. And once that comes, you progress. You need not to think of it. That's what I told you. I never thought of coming to USA. Never. And to tell you there is a long queue line in the American embassy. I had not gone except once. It's not, I'm not praising myself, but you keep your focus. If your focus is there, the reward will come. That is yoga, that is Tantra, that is mindfulness, that is peace, that is happiness, that is life.